Well, thank God it's Friday because we all may need the entire weekend to process this breaking story when it comes to Donald Trump and his common phrase going way back in 2016 to right now in this story of going, we're only going to have the best people. We just get the best people. I know all the best people. Do you really, Donald? And do you know them so well that you've actually had your staff or anyone else vet them for who they really might be? That is the cornerstone of this breaking story I'm going to show you in a few seconds. Let's understand, yes, there's been a ton of discussion about Donald Trump and his connections to Russia and why he's so soft on Putin. Nonetheless, in this breaking story, you will not believe who is sitting in a position in the White House right next to Donald Trump at his approval. Take a listen to this before I show you the story. Check it out.
We had a great call, and it lasted for a long time.
From day one of Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, the allegiance of Washington to Kyiv has been steadfast and strong. Then Donald Trump was elected U.S. president again, and that allegiance, it seemed to disintegrate overnight. We begin the day with Donald Trump's relationship with Russia. Is it too close for comfort? America's new alignment with Russia has upended a world order that has been in place for decades. U.S. President Donald Trump's new deference to the Kremlin has alarmed many in the West. Trump and his administration have taken several steps favoring Russia without appearing to require anything in return. The U.S. is demanding difficult things from Ukraine if there is to be a ceasefire, and from Russia, no demands at all.
First contacts with the new U.S. administration are cause for hope.
Putin has been very willing to engage with Trump.
The president says he wants to achieve peace as soon as possible. We do too.
In terms of getting a final settlement, it may be easier dealing with Russia.
Ending the West's isolation of Russia. That's what Putin's interest is. He is not interested in ending the war.
Tonight, my guest says this all makes sense once you realize what Donald Trump really is, a Russian asset.
When that comes from investigative journalists and editorialists in foreign countries, you should be very aware that there may be a great deal of truth behind it. And in this breaking story, check out what was just discovered inside of our own White House. Here is the story. Breaking news. Gore works for Trump vetting White House employees. Problem is, Gore hasn't been vetted yet after 5 months. Director of White House Office of Presidential Personnel is suspected of being a Russian spy. Sergio Gore appears to actually be Sergei Gorachev from Saratov, Russia. Investigative journalist Brian Krebs discovered some damning information. Sergio Gore is known to have worked on the campaign of the conservative former Representative Steve King, and a search in Domain Tools finds Sergio Gore registered steveking.com way back when. Domain Tool says Gore used the email address sergio.gore@gmail.com, which was also used to register the vanity domain sergiogore.com. Constella Intelligence, a threat hunting platform that indexes breach data, finds this email address used the rather unique and long password was redacted. Constella further finds that the password is almost exclusively tied to a bunch of email accounts for the same name, including sgorachev999 at rambler.ru, gorachev-sergey at yandex.ru, sergio-gore at yandex.ru, sergio-gore at quip.ru, gorachev-sergey at ya.ru, and Gorachev-Sergey at list.ru, and Gorachev-Sergey at gmail.com. Constella also says Gorachev-Sergey at yandex.ru has multiple entries in a Russian government database for a Sergey Anatolovich Gorachev. Date of birth, November 20, 1980. Phone number, 796-892-10000. This person appears to have lived in Saratov, Russia, has a tax ID number, etc., etc. And this man works for Donald Trump, vetting White House employees. Lucy, you got some splaining to do. Now, like all situations like this, and ironically, what's going on currently in America with ICE and due process, I am a huge due process advocate. I do not try to go with guilty until proven innocent. No, I agree. It's innocent until proven guilty. However, the job of our country and the job of our White House, its staff, and all of its assets and resources to check on people is to check on people. How is someone with a questionable birthplace, or at least a foreign birthplace to one of our main two adversaries, along with all of this questionable association and linkage, which is relatively easy to discover, how is someone like that sitting in the White House actually vetting personnel when we have not properly vetted him himself? That is the question. And why would Donald Trump or any sitting president allow that? And here's the other funny part. In my lifetime, in your lifetime likely, why haven't we ever seen before a story about a White House personnel individual, much less the person who's handling personnel in the White House? How come a story like this has never come up in my lifetime before or before Donald J. Trump? Someone who has been questioned many, many times about his love, association, or potentially being compromised by Russia. You guys have a great weekend. Stay frosty.